welcome in to Blue Jays Today, where today, everybody, we got to talk about a big-time series win. Are you kidding me? 2 games where they were down, and then the offense actually came to life, clawed themselves back into that thing, and then had some clutch hitting from some of our key players. We're going to break that down, what that means for this team moving forward, if this is some momentum to build off of, or if we're still kind of unsure of what this team is after 1 month of baseball. On top of all of that, we got some exciting updates about some of the prospects in the Toronto Blue Jays system right now. Some of them kids are looking elite. And, of course, some injury updates surrounding Max Scherzer, Eric Swanson, XYZ. Speaking of injury updates, man, I did not expect Dalton Varsho to you know, like in the first, three games that he's played so far, hit, you know, home runs in both of them, make an incredible catch in another one. Like, this guy is already, you know, putting on a clinic, and he's only played, 2-3 games?
2-3 games. Yeah, I mean, the dude, I love to see it. You know, 2 home runs. Love it. I love the one yesterday, too, where he pulled it down the right field line, just missed a homer. And then what does he do? He, like, waits back on the baseball and hits it over the left field wall. I've never seen Varsho hit a ball over the left field wall. Like, I mean, maybe he has in the Blue Jay uniform. I haven't. That was crazy. Who would have thought that? But, you know, who would have thought that he would be the power that we've been missing in this lineup,
man. It's
right?
Like, it feels like a bit of a spark plug, honestly. Like, the second that Varsho came in and the second that he made that, like, insane catch, it's like everyone was like, oh, shit, like, time to play baseball now. And then, of course, you know, him helping with the offense has been huge, and the rest of the guys kind of just, like, building off of that. You know, again, did not expect Dalton Varsho to come in and be that spark plug for us, offensively speaking. But you know what? Anyone can do it right now. George Springer's been doing it. Varsho, if you want to take over now in the month of May, please be my guest.
Yo, this is crazy too. Faith saying Dalton Varsho hit a home run before Bo.
Yes, he did.
2 home runs before Bo hit 1. So we'll talk about that too. There's a ton we'll get into that into this podcast. But first things first, like just kind of recapping yesterday's game. Like, how good was it to see actually Vladimir Guerrero Jr. come up in a much-needed spot, 2 runners on, and cash in a home run? Like, that's the power missing. Like, that's what we missed all of last year. We couldn't do. In a late-inning comeback in both games are like that. Does that instill you with some confidence?
Well, it certainly makes me feel a lot better about, you know, all the trolls out there on Twitter that were, you know, losing their minds about his contract and everything that. You know, obviously one swing does not warrant a $500 million payday, but those are the type of swings that you want to see from somebody that you're paying that amount of money to. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has always put up great numbers, but there's always been that narrative of, well, what does he do in the big spot? Does he actually come up clutch when we need him to? Or are all of these, you know, home runs and RBIs and everything in games or situations that really don't mean a whole lot? Yesterday, it was a key moment, a key time in that ball game. We needed our star player to come out and to show us why he is our star player. He did that. And if he can continue to do that moving forward, this team is going to go. Yeah,
I like what you brought up there about how he doesn't come up in the clutch moments. And I don't know where the hell people are getting this idea from. Like, maybe they're focused on the 7 of 10 times he doesn't come up with a clutch moment. Because according to here, this year and last year, go look at his last year stats with runners in scoring position. He's batting .308 with an OPS of 1.056. With 2 home runs so far this season. And yeah, maybe you can go look at high leverage moments too. I'm pretty sure his high leverage moments are also pretty elite too. When the game actually matters, when it's game deciding stuff, he actually comes up clutch. So I don't know where anybody's coming out with that like kind of narrative. If you are, that needs to end pretty quickly, man.
Yeah, 100%, dude. And of course, like we've said time and time again, this team goes when Vladdy goes. So to see that guy doing what it is that, you know, the Toronto Blue Jays paid him to do and leading by example, you needed it. And that's something that they haven't had pretty much the entirety of the last 2 weeks, which was any type of clutch hitting, any type of star performances from Guerrero. I think prior to this series, he was like 2 for 20 or something like that in the last several games. So Guerrero was cold, Bo was cold, all the guys were cold. You started to see some of that come around in those last 2 games against Boston.
You know what I love too about his home run? It was what, like a sinker downstairs out of the strike zone, and this guy line drives it over the wall. Like, that's unreal. Vladdy's been getting tough like pitches all all season long, like really tough pitches. I'm gonna try to find it right here. Yeah, like tough pitches all year long. Like you look at like just the breaking, like this is the fastball right here, up and in, down right there, but up and in, like very tough pitches get any hold of. Breaking balls away, off speed pitches, like they're down and outside the zone, like very tough pitching. So the fact that he was able to just go down and get it, like, well, fuck it, if you're gonna pitch me tough, like I'm gonna go get it, you know, because I believe that was like 1 out in that situation when he hit the home run. So Santander was right behind him. He's been cold, so he's like, okay, well, they're gonna pitch around me. I'm gonna fuck it, base open. I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna go get it.
Well, that's the thing, man. I mean, like, you know, a lot of times you see Guerrero swing at that ball and that turns into a double play, you know, and it's like, boom, like we're out of the inning because, you know, like he ended up rolling over on it. He took out the driver and he golfed that thing and it was fucking sexy. I believe that like when we were watching, it was what, 50 feet?
50 feet of apex, 110
like,
off the bat.
It was as much of a line drive as you can have that will result in a home run. Like it was on a rope, everybody.
That's not a guy looking upstairs and then like, oh, like I chopped one. No, like that's a guy looking downstairs and he gets one.
Yeah,
like good for him.
And another thing I will say about Vladdy as well, and I think that this is just instilling me with a bit of confidence that the numbers are going to come around, even if it's been a kind of a slow start for the guy, you know, comparatively speaking to what some of the other like elites are doing in, you know, across MLB. You look at some of the hard hit rates from Guerrero this year, like they are all through the roof. 2 of his hard hit, like he's got the first and the third hardest hit ball in all of MLB this year,
right?
Because he hit one like over 120, and then the other day, it was like 2 days ago or something like that, he had another one that was 119 miles per hour off the bat that resulted in a single. You know what I mean? So it's like the ball is coming off of his bat harder than, you know, we've really ever seen from him, and, you know, from up, like harder than everyone else in MLB, I'll tell you that much. That to me is just one of those things where it's like, okay, eventually the numbers are going to come around. If you're hitting the ball that damn hard, there's going to be a month of time where instead of, you know, immediately, you know, flying into the shortstop's glove, it is going to go through the hole. It is going to end up as a double. It is going to go over the fence like we saw last night.
Look at that. Expected batting average at 311 and expected slugging of 518. You do the quick, simple math there. That's at least an 800, low 800 OPS. And then I'll add on top of that the, you know, on base percentage. But yeah, for me, like Vladdy's getting pitched very hard this year. He's had some ugly swings, don't get me wrong, but that's due to the fact that he's getting pitched very, very hard. Maybe he's expanded a little bit, but the fact that he's getting pitched that hard, I think it's going to get a lot easier from later on when Santander starts heating up. And I have a video coming about this tomorrow. But when Santander starts getting heated up, well, if we dance around Vladdy, well, fuck, I got Santander that's next. And, you know, he's been on a tear. He's had 4 home runs in the last, you know, week and a half. And I don't want to face this guy. So once Santander starts getting heated up, if it's a 3-1 count, a 2-0 count, like, they're going to come after Vladdy. And the fact that Vladdy's going after their pitches and doing damage makes me a lot more confident that when eventually Santander gets heated up, then boom, Vladdy's going to go on another level.
Sure, yeah. Again, it's one of those things where they just work off of each other. You saw it happen last year with Judge and Judge and Soto, and it's just like they're consistently working off one another and helping each other, you know, get to those new levels. Granted, maybe Judge is just crazy because he's doing it all by himself just
Judge
fine
is insane
right now.
I mean, I guess you have Goldschmidt, excuse me, voice crack. Goldschmidt's like second in batting average. I think like he's number 2 right behind Judge.
Well, listen, I bet that Goldschmidt is benefiting from having Aaron Judge with him as well in some capacity.
Yeah. I mean, the amount of times that Judge is on base, there's nowhere to put Paul Goldschmidt, right? So
either way, Vladdy looking good. We're very happy with it. Also, credit where credit is due. You're bringing up Santander there. Yes, he has been very cold throughout the month of April, and it's been a rough month. And I know that there's that whole narrative about, oh, Santander, slow starter, doesn't really get cooking until May, June, July, that type of thing. He did have also a very clutch home run in the previous game as well. He was what, a 3 RBI bomb,
3 homer,
ties up the ball game, then lets us go to extras. Alejandro Kirk, you know, gets in there for the W. So I mean, again, if he can, now that it's May, get his bat warmed up and just like give us that occasional clutch bomb, that's the only thing that we were really missing, which was causing us to lose some of those 3-1 games or, whatever the score was to Houston, to New York, to various others.
Yeah. Also, quick little side note. I love Peyton in the chat saying, nice Ned Stark bobblehead. Love that shout out, Game of Thrones. But yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the entire feeling of this team, because obviously it's a lot of the offense, and that's been a major problem for this team, was the offense. But slowly but surely, so has the pitching become a little bit of a problem as well. Overall, offensively speaking, hitting wise, we're 27th in runs scored. So, I mean, that's not great. We got to hope that's got to pick up in the month of May. But then you look at the starting pitching too. ERA 26 in baseball. Like, once we lost Max Scherzer, and I guess when we lost Beaston Lucas, we started to really fall off a little bit.
Yeah, because keep in mind as well, Easton Lucas is contributing to that ERA right now.
Yes, it is.
So it's like because he was great for 2 starts, and then obviously got fucking shelled. Yeah. And I forget what he left with, but it was not good.
Yeah, and then of course, like recently we just saw Bowden Francis. I said this before, like Bowden Francis jumps like before the podcast. Yeah. Bowden Francis ERA has jumped to 5.5. It was at like a low 3. Now it's 5.5. So it's like, there you go. That's a big contribution.
And that was really just like one bad
game.
start.
I know.
Of course, like it's got, it really balloons when you're this early in the season still, especially for a pitcher.
Exactly. And then you look at the relief pitcher ERA, it's mid, it's 16th. So just based on just runs coming in for the Blue Jays, it's not the greatest. You look at the run differential right here on the MLB standings board, -32. They're expected to be a lot worse than what the record actually shows at 12 and 19. Their actual record is 15 and 16, just 1 game below 500. So where are we feeling? What are we feeling right now with this Blue Jays team? And we had a quote unquote tough schedule, but I mean, our schedule is still going to be pretty tough. We'll take a look at it in a bit, but like, there's still no slouches in the month of May either.
Look, I think that the Toronto Blue Jays played a very, well, you could argue it's below average because, I mean, literally it is below average. But I look at it as being a very average month of April. There were some things that we really liked, especially at the beginning of the month. There were some things where it's like, okay, we have the pitching right now and the offense is doing enough. We have a great batting average, collectively speaking. That was really good. So there was stuff that you liked right there.
Right.
Then you saw the other side of the coin in the second half of the month of April where it's like, oh, shit. Pitching isn't as, Cy Young level of dominance, and now the offense isn't even hitting at all, right? And you saw that. So it was a very, very average month for me overall. I'm happy that they haven't dug themselves into any type of hole. Like, they're one series win away from being right back at 500, being right back in the mix in the AL East. So, again, like, we're not out of this race by any capacity. Obviously, you are going to need to see more, though, moving forward. That is going to mean Anthony Santander heating up. It's going to have to happen now. That the whole excuse of, well, he's a slow starter, now that we're officially in May, you can no longer use that anymore, right? So we are going to need to see that contract start to pay off. I do want to see Bo Bichette eventually hit a home run. That's a whole other thing right here. I know he's not a home run guy, but the fact that he is 0 and it's May 2nd right now, you now are starting to ask some questions. And getting that 5th guy back in the rotation, being Max Scherzer or whomstever it's going to be, I think is also going to be crucial.
I mean, you covered the entire thing right there. Like, I was going to bring up we need a 5th guy. Because, like, the offense is being the offense. Like, I kind of expected it to be off to the slow start. But what we really need, and this is our bread and butter, is we really do need another starting pitcher in this rotation. It's too early to go out and trade for anybody right now. So, yeah, you either need Max Scherzer to come back healthy, which, when we'll bring up the updates, he isn't coming back anytime soon. So you really need to find somebody in there. So who the hell is it going to be? Is it going to be Yariel Rodriguez? Are you going to do this weird piggybacking of, like, Casey Lawrence is gone now, but like Eric Lauer, what are you going to do? You kind of need to get, I almost want to say, a little bit lucky with these guys coming up and performing at a great level, because you need it. Because you can't go up with a 4-man rotation, and if they keep running a 4-man rotation, if they do decide to do that, that's recipe for disaster. And the Blue Jays are going to bury themselves into a bigger hole.
Yeah, it's absolutely going to be that way. So you are going to need somebody. I mean, Max Scherzer, there was some semi-promising updates with him throwing a little bit more. Keegan Matheson tweeted something out a little while ago that he has been increasing his pitch count slightly. So that is going. However, I would still anticipate that we are looking like, at the very least, several weeks into May, if not late May. And that's what they're saying right now is potentially late May. Eric Swanson, similarly, late May as well. I think that you're just going to need to cross your fingers and pray to God that Eric Lauer is going to be that guy for you. If it's not going to be Eric Lauer, then it better be Connor Overton. And if it's not going to be Connor Overton, then it better be somebody else, right? Because that's just the situation that you found yourself in. Yariel Rodriguez, I think it's been proven that, at least at this current juncture in time, is not somebody that you can rely on to go out there and to pitch you 4 or 5 innings of quality baseball. It feels like if you do that, it could just result in several different home runs coming around. He's got a 5.68 ERA right now. That's right around where I thought he was. Yeah, you're going to need somebody else to come in and to fill this spot.
Which sucks because this feels like a lot of hopium that's going on right here. Like, we got to hope that somebody goes and figures it out. And that's the shitty thing about this situation is, like, yeah, you go and you have an offseason where you get Jeff Hoffman. Jeff Hoffman's a fucking beast. Like, he's probably the J of the fucking month, let's be honest. And then you go out and you get Santander and you hope that he eats up. But even if that all happens, it does really come down to the pitching to keep us into the ball games. And we started to see a snowball effect with Kevin Gausman. His ERA's ballooned. Like, he's not perfect. Chris Bassett kind of going back to reality. Jose Barrero's been pretty solid lately. But again, like, it's not nothing dominant, and we do need consistency across the board, but there's a part of the board that's missing.
I think that the starters, like, have been doing just fine, honestly. Like, just fine. They're not necessarily exceeding expectations. Like, when you look over at a team like the New York Mets right now, I highly recommend, like, go check out their team and their baseball reference. I mean, you're getting contributions from guys that you just never would have anticipated, and they're going crazy. We're not getting that right now. I don't think that the starters are sinking us. I think that they are pretty much as consistent as you can expect. The numbers will level out. Jose Barrios is getting better. Kevin Gausman, yes, he had one really bad inning where he just lost all control. He's still Kevin Gausman. Chris Bassett is certainly exceeding expectations. So I think they're fine. It is just finding that fifth guy, weathering the storm until Max Scherzer comes back, and then hoping that you can make it to the back end of your bullpen.
And then here's the thing: when Max Scherzer comes back, you need him to be good.
Well, yeah,
there's a lot of hopium.
It's one step at a time here, man. Like, we're crawling here.
I know.
We can run.
Because, like, let's be real. Like, the offense. I've said this before. The offense is, like, at best, like, I'm expecting a mid offense when we're popping off, right? Because let's be honest, after Santander, it's a lot of question marks. We have no idea. George Springer's not going to be this good all season long, and you need the pitching to be what it was earlier in the season. Like, you need to be top 10. The bullpen's awesome. I like the bullpen. Like, I really think that, they're going to be on a roll, and I think the numbers are not reflective of how they are.
Well,
I think probably the starting pitching numbers are not reflective of how they are. But, like, you kind of need them to get a little bit more secure for this team to really roll.
Look, I think that the bullpen right now is good when we're winning a game. It's just really bad when we're not
losing a game.
Right?
Yeah,
it's like you don't have a lot of depth in that pen, which makes it that much harder to, when you are down early, claw yourself back into it, because we do need to throw people out there that just probably should not be playing up here, and they are going to give up runs. Right? Like, that was the whole Jacob Barnes thing that we did several times. Yeah. Throw him out into the mix, and obviously there are going to be runs coming in. And then regardless of what your offense does, you're just not going to be able to bridge that gap, make up for that deficit. Whereas the top end guys, if you can make it to Brendan Little, Jimmy Garcia, Jeff Hoffman, like, those guys have been fucking crazy. Yeah. I made a little short about Jimmy Garcia earlier today. There is only 6 players right now in MLB, 6 pitchers, who have thrown over 10 innings and have not given up an earned run. Jimmy Garcia is one of them. The whip is great. The ERA is obviously 0 because there has been no earned runs. Like, he's doing everything you could ask for and more, along with Jeff Hoffman. So if you can make it to the 8th inning with a lead, and you can throw those guys in, I'm feeling very confident. It's just about getting there.
It's funny. Mason Fluharty is becoming a top 4 bullpen guy for us.
Yeah. He effectively just had that one bad outing, when he first got called up. Yep. And, like, those are really where the earned runs are coming from. I don't know if he's even let anything in since then.
I don't think so. So, but yeah, again, point being is, like, everything is fine for now. The wheels haven't fallen off the Toronto Blue Jays. Like, the season isn't over. Like, we're not panicking yet. There is concerns everywhere. I mean, depth of bullpen, 5th guy in the rotation. Will Santander get hot? Will Bobichette hit home run? There's so many concerns, and you need a lot of them to be resolved pretty much at the end of the month.
Well, look, we aren't as bad as we were last year. I'll say that. We're not as bad as we were last year right now. We're only one game below 500. So that's something that we learned in April. We survived the gauntlet. We were saying at the beginning of the season, if we could be around 500 or one game below 500 when it's all said and done at April, we'll take that. We'll be okay with it. That's where we're at right now. All right. So we didn't exceed expectations. We also didn't, go below. We didn't sink our whole season right now.
I'm kind of right around where expected.
That's where we thought we would be.
We would be
right
here.
So now, entering into May, being where you are, it's now time to take that next step. This is where, okay, in this month of May, I want to see some progression. I want to see Santander cook, and I would like to, if I'm being honest, I want to leave May being above 500.
Ideally. So let's talk about it then. Let's look at this upcoming month of May. Actually, before we do, I asked you guys all on X to vote on who is your J of the month. Who would you say would be J of the month?
Well, I know where they voted, and honestly, I kind of agree with them. Like, I think that, what Jeff Hoffman has done has been so overwhelmingly incredible. And I know that, Jimmy Garcia, I was gassing him up. He hasn't given a single earned run in yet. So you can make an argument, like Jimmy Garcia, he's been just as good, if not better.
Yeah.
And I could hear that. I could agree with that argument. But for Jeff Hoffman to, on 3 separate occasions, come in the 9th, pitch his way out of that jam, then go in the 10th, and pitch around the runner that starts on second and give the offense a chance to win, that's crazy.
He did that 3 times this month. Like, that's actually nuts. So, yeah, I agree. Jeff Hoffman, J of the month, absolutely. This is one of the best signings that we've ever done.
We were bringing it up in yesterday's podcast, but, I mean, if you instead had Romano instead of Jeff Hoffman, I don't think this is an exaggeration. I say that we are at minimum 5 games below 500.
Now I'm saying the season's over.
We're 5 games below 500.
There's nothing salvage, because then you got the bullpen's fucked. All you have is Jimmy Garcia and Mason Fluharty.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh well, we're screwed. But yeah. Anyways, so glad that Jeff Hoffman is here with the team. J of the month, congratulations. But yeah, let's talk about that next month. We're gonna need to see probably who. Okay, actually, here's a fun idea. Just pivoting off that. Who do you need to see be J of the month to have a good month in May? Who do you need to see?
I don't really understand your question.
Who do you need to see be J of the month for May? If they are J of the month, that means we probably had a very good month of baseball.
Okay. Well, I mean, like I'm still
for me,
confused.
it's Santander.
Yeah.
For me, it's Santander easily. Like Santander, like again, I'm gonna have a video come out for this tomorrow.
Right.
But like Santander is gonna be the catalyst for this entire lineup. Like Kevin Gausman, we should be expecting to come back and be good. Bassett be good. Everybody be good. But Santander needs to be heads and tails, above and beyond, better than most people in this entire lineup. Like he needs to be that threat more than Vladdy, more than Bichette, if we're going to win a lot of games.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. And I do hear you there. It's like with Santander, I think that if we finish through May and he's still like kind of flirting with batting around 200 and, just is kind of doing what he's doing right now, then I think that there is actually a little bit of weight to what some of the people are saying. Is like, whoa, what's going on with this guy? Right? Like that's actually, you start to be a bit concerned because this entire time you've been able to say and been able to use that argument of, well, wait a second, he gets hot in May. He gets hot, once the summer gets going. But if we get to the end of May and Anthony Santander isn't cooking, then that's where it's like, okay, well, sorry, dude, you can't be batting third anymore.
Yeah.
And we probably are deep in the hole right now from a win-loss standpoint. We need our top boys to be our top boys. That does mean Bo, that does mean Vlad, and that, of course, does mean Santander as well.
Yeah, like Santander, give me 10 home runs this month of May. I don't care about the batting average. You need to hit 10 home runs with an OPS of 800. If you can do that, we're all good.
Yeah, that's the contract. That's what they pay them to do.
That's what we pay you to do. So looking at this month ahead, we start a new series, obviously, against the Guardians. We'll break down each game at the end of this show. But, you got the Guardians. Then you got the Angels. They're 12-8 right now. Then you're going to have the Seattle Mariners yet again. They're going to be some tough competition. When you're looking over at the Mariners, I mean, they're 18-12. They're actually on an absolute roll, 8-2 in their last 10. But then that'll be a week from now. Tampa Bay Rays are going to be tough. This is going to be a gauntlet right here. The Detroit Tigers and the San Diego Padres, who is one of the best teams in all of baseball right now. Then you get the Tampa Bay Rays again. Then you get the Texas Rangers, who are still, putting up a little bit of fight. They're 16-6, but they're still going to be not a slouch of a team. And then the Athletics, who are a better team than those Texas Rangers. They're 17-15. So honestly, you could make a legit argument. What? There's one breathable spot here, right here.
Look, the month of May, and this is why like it's always kind of silly to me to be kind of looking at the beginning of the season or prior to the season starting, being like, oh, this is an easy month. This is a hard month, right? It's like, okay, we do that and everybody does that. And it's like, yeah, like whatever. But you never actually fucking know. Because then when you get there, it's like, okay, well, Seattle's doing a lot better than anyone thought they would. Detroit is doing what we thought and then some. San Diego is doing better than everybody thought that they would. The Athletics are doing better, right?
Rangers,
so it's like you're getting all of these performances that you didn't expect, and a month prior you looked at this schedule and you went, all right, there's only like 1 or 2 playoff teams in there. Like, we should be able to clean up. That's not necessarily the case anymore.
Nope.
I wouldn't go so far to say that this is like an insurmountable Mount Everest of a month. This is a standard month of baseball. It's not crazy. It's certainly not easy. It's also not insanely difficult. If you want to be a playoff team, though, you are going to need to win more games this month than you lose. That means cleaning up against Cleveland, cleaning up against the Angels. You got to claw those games back that you lost to Seattle previously and take them back. Because what, did we get swept by Seattle?
We did get swept by Seattle.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to be what?
Oh, no. We won one game.
We won one.
We won
right.
one game.
So let's even that thing up at 500 now on the season, right? We got to have a 500 record against the Seattle Mariners. I don't want to be losing games to the Tampa Bay Rays. Like, look, if they're a playoff team, they do fine in this month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, they should, because if you want to go above 500, you got to win 2 more games. And if that's the expectation, right, you got to do damage against guys like this. Like the Angels.
They don't even have Mike Trout anymore, right? Mike Trout's not going to be part of their team for that series. I feel bad for Mike Trout, but feel good for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah, like you got to be able to do damage because everybody else is going to be an absolute gauntlet. You got to win at home. This is going to be a gauntlet of a stretch. The one good thing is you do have Detroit and Padres coming to your home, and hopefully by this point against the Padres, you're settled in nicely at Rogers Center, and you can come away with some wins. So it's not going to get any easier. So, like the last month was all the excuse of like, well, it's a tough schedule. They're all tough schedules. When is it ever not going to be a tough schedule? It's never not going to be.
Yeah, it's always going to be relatively difficult. The one thing that I will say that's kind of positive is they made it almost 500 through that month. And Santander was a ghost. And, Vladdy was like barely hitting home runs for a long period of time. Bobuchet still didn't hit a home run. We only had 4 pitchers for the majority of the month. And they were still around 500. So if we can get some of those things going... we should be okay.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I guess the tale of the story is like when we win, we barely win, and when we lose, we get destroyed. So
that's the Toronto Blue Jays for you, everybody. Until we maybe get some of the young prospects coming up and change our identity.
Maybe not this season.
Maybe not this season. No, I didn't say this season. I just said until we get those guys up, change your identity, because some of them are going insane mode right now down there. Arjun Namala was somebody that we wanted to bring up, just highlight how incredible he has been. We are talking about a 19-year-old here right now, so it's, again, years away from coming up and making a serious impact, but he is certainly making an impact right now in, what is it, single A plus?
Single A, Dunedin. So it's just like the regular single A. Single A plus. You're right. I'm thinking about Trey Savage. So he's with the Vancouver Canadians right now. Again, 19 years old, like Nick was saying. Like that's really young, and this dude's hitting .303 right now with an OPS of 940 and 6 home runs, 6 doubles in just 21 games. Like, for me, this is promotion got written all over it. Like, again, his next step is AA. Like, that's it. That's the next step. And again, he's not going to come up anytime soon. If he gets promoted this year to AA, plays there for a while, okay, well then entering 2026, maybe you start in AA, and then the next step is AAA. And then after that point, boom, maybe 2027 he comes up, and that's phenomenal. But this is honestly a great progression, because in the past, we saw him hit for a very low average, high slug. The pop was always there, but then he started to figure out with the high batting average too. So that's important, because if you keep the low batting average, you keep going up levels, it's only going to get harder to get base hits.
Yeah, 100%, man. So, I mean, and this is somebody too that like could make his debut when he's like 21 or something like that, right? And you get him in those young days. The ceiling is there for an Arjun Namala, which is always what you want to see when you're drafting somebody that young. And right now, he's looking very good. Similar ceiling over there with Trey Savage. This dude is also going crazy. He is in single A. I guess this is a recent outing from him, right? 6 innings pitched, no earned runs, no walks. That's really cool to me.
8 strikeouts.
Obviously, you're up against competition that is going to swing at some of your pitches that are maybe outside the zone, and when you get to the MLB, they might not chase, but it is still good to know that the command is clearly all there for him.
Yeah, and this is his first season in the big leagues. He's got or not big leagues, in a professional organization. 23 innings, 1/3. The WHIP is under 1. The ERA is 2.31. Again, a few more starts, and even Keegan Madison, shout out to him, he tweeted this out. A few more starts, and he'll probably go up to Vancouver and join Arjun Namala if he's still there by the time he gets there. And, that's a good sign because, again, he was drafted out of college, so he's got a bit of a shorter path to the big leagues where, Arjun had to play in rookie ball for a few years and then make it up to, single A Vancouver. But Trey Savage, dude's already 21. Remember Alek Manoah? He basically took a year and then he made it to the big leagues. So Trey Savage could be one of those guys where maybe not this year because there's, we have a lot of other guys on the depth charts that we might test out, but maybe some point in 2026, 2027 for certain if he continues at this trajectory.
100%, man. And I mean, if our guys keep getting injured, it's like, look, let's get the promotions going soon, okay? Because we need guys up here right now.
And that's why I think they went and got Savage last year too. They know their depth is really being tested, and they're bad at developing a lot of starting pitchers. So why not go draft a guy who's already kind of developed? Same idea that they did with Alek Manoah and then Gunnar Hoagland, who they actually just made is making his debut with the Athletics. So remember we traded him for
I do remember
Matt
that.
Chapman.
Yeah,
he was a first-round selection out of college, so they'll come up quicker.
They can come up quicker. I mean, look at Paul Skeens. The guy was drafted, made his debut. Obviously, different animal, but now he's like the best pitcher in baseball.
Literally.
That's a real thing that's happening. Speaking about best pitchers in baseball, the former best pitcher in baseball, Max Scherzer, like we said, he is rehabbing right now. I just thought that this was really cool, and I wanted to highlight this. There were so many people that said when we signed Max Scherzer that he was a waste of money. Why do you bring somebody in like this? This doesn't make any sense. We kept saying that the locker room presence alone is something that we are happy with.
Yeah.
And this is fucking awesome. This dude's a Hall of Famer. He doesn't need to be this type of nice guy. But down there in, what was this? This was a, they said it off the top. Yeah, minor league. So he's doing some rehabbing appearances in the minor leagues. He spends over $7,000 on a meal for those guys, gets them all AirPods, treats them with respect. Just shout out to Max Scherzer for being an amazing teammate.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stories in the minor leagues about how it's not fun, especially in the lower minor league level. You're playing for like $25,000, $30,000 a year. Like, it's really not a lot. And you're struggling. You're working 2 jobs, and you're traveling on the road with probably, your wife and your kids and whatnot. It's tough. So for Max Scherzer to come down and just be like, hey, let me cover your meal. Let me get you some AirPods. Because, making $30,000 a year, you're probably not getting AirPods anytime soon. So, big shout out to Max Scherzer for being an absolute
And
gem.
we're talking bone-in ribeye, filet mignon, lobster. They were eating good the other day down there in the minors. Let's transition and talk a little bit about this upcoming series. Cleveland tonight, which, by the way, everybody, we're going to be live for this evening on the channel and doing something a little bit different. 9 by 9 by 9 challenge, everybody. We got 161 people watching right now. Mark it in the agenda. Stop in 7 p.m. this evening. 9 hot dogs, 9 beers, 9 innings of baseball. It is going to be, listen, we did it last year. It was horrendous.
What do you say? I loved it.
All right. I'm speaking for myself, okay? That's all I'm doing here, man. I'm certainly not looking forward to it. So if you want to see us in pain, then come stop in.
All right, guys. Yeah, check it out tonight, 7 o'clock. We'll be live. But this is the game we're going to be going live for. It's going to be up against Logan Allen, Chris Bassett. This one, Blue Jays are heavy favorites for. We'll bring up the Betway lines in just a bit. But yeah, we got some momentum. 2-game win streak. Bassett, we know he's great. I mean, he was up there for potential J of the month. He actually got probably the least amount of votes, but he was doing very good and very solid. And I like the odds here. So what are you thinking for this one tonight up against Allen?
I mean, I think that everything on paper looks pretty good here. I think that with the momentum that you've seen from that offense, with the fact that you got Chris Bassett on the bump and he's playing great, with the fact that it's at home, all of these things are checking a lot of boxes for me. The one thing that I'm like, that is kind of concerning. We're talking about a Cleveland Guardians team that has 18 wins, so even the Cleveland Guardians right now that you're not really thinking of as being a tough squad, they know how to win baseball games. We've seen this from them time and time again. And actually that's really
crazy.
Impressive. They got a winning record and they're actually not even playing that well just from a team standpoint, offensively, starting pitching. Like they're not doing it, but they just always know how to win. Like we watched them literally go to the ALCS last year and they weren't even that great of a team.
Their run differential's -24 and they're 18-3. Their expected win-loss is 13-18. So they're honestly kind of getting lucky.
Maybe.
So we'll see. So with that being said, guys, let's give a quick shout out here to the sponsor of this podcast, and we'll give our score predictions.
Hey guys, time for a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video. Hit your picks and knock it out of the park with Betway. Scan the QR code down below or click the link in the description to join the action. Available in Ontario only. Must be 19 years older to participate. And guys, please bet responsibly. Now, back to the content.
Shout out to Betway, everybody, for being absolutely phenomenal. Here are the lines. As Adam said, Blue Jays definitely the heavy favorites in this one. I mean, I think that we're going to win. I'll be honest. I don't necessarily love that multiplier for us on a straight money line.
Yeah.
I don't know where I would go in this one if I had to put money down on it, to be honest. But I do think that the Blue Jays will win this game.
I'm going because I don't like the money line either. I'm gonna go Blue Jays +1.5, and it's I think I switched it around. It's supposed to be -1.5. Yeah, they're both +1.5. It's supposed to be -1.5. And it's 225. So win by 2 today. I actually feel pretty good. The offense is rolling. We're still at home. We didn't travel anywhere. And we're up against Allen. Not the greatest pitcher. He's a whip of over 1.5. So give me the Blue Jays.
So maybe a couple freebies then from Allen would definitely be nice. You guys let us know what you are riding with down below. And again, we're going to be live for tonight's game, watching along. Also doing the 9x9x9, trying to do some live play-by-play as well. But we'll see how much we actually get in. Then on Saturday, you got Kevin Gausman up against Williams. Williams with a 5.14 ERA. Gausman, obviously, his ERA is now inflated after that last start. Both of them have 2 wins under their belt. What are you thinking here?
Man, I think the Blue Jays are about to go on a roll, man. I like, for real. Gausman is pound for pound a better pitcher than this is Gavin Williams. Yeah, Gavin Williams, like, absolutely. I think the Cleveland Guardians are a little bit fraudulent, so give me another W. We're gonna just keep this momentum rolling, everybody. No breaks here.
Okay, I hear. Yeah. I mean, look, there's
May.
It's May. It's May. Santander's good in May. We no losses in May. Toronto Blue Jays have a 100% win rate in May, so it stays that way on Saturday. Moving into the final game here, you got Tanner Beebe up against Bowden Francis. Francis obviously had a rough start the last time out.
Yeah.
This guy, though, with his 4.36 ERA hasn't been phenomenal either. Do we sweep them or do we drop a game eventually here?
Yeah, I mean, eventually we're going to drop a game. If I were to bet on any game to be dropped, I guess it would be this one. I mean, the ERA is a little bit deceiving for Francis, but Tyler Beebe is he's great. He's a good pitcher. I think that ERA is a little bit inflated for his sake. So, yeah, I'm going to say this one we drop. There's still the 18-13 Guardians somehow. And we'll win it. And we'll go back, or we'll lose this one, but we'll win the series. And we'll go back to 500, 17-17 before I believe we head on the road. So that'll be a good sign. Yeah, before we go over there to the West Coast, I'll be good.
All right, I'm gonna say the same thing as you. Actually, it does feel like the Toronto Blue Jays are playing a little bit better after those 2 games. Again, these aren't just like any wins. These are, we clawed our way back into this thing. We didn't give up. We had clutch hitting. We were good. Wins. I think that we do lose this one though, and we end up being 500. But still, that would be an awesome awesome bounce back series, getting back to the 500 mark. Then it's like, okay, we're starting anew. You got the LA Angels. That should be an easy, like, we win that series. And then it's what can you do against Seattle? What can you do against the others out there as well?
Absolutely. So, guys, let us know in the comments down below. What are you thinking about the Blue Jays' chances? And as well, if I know a few of you out there are going to be performing the 9x9x9 as well along with us. So let us know if you are. Keep along with us. It'll be a lot of fun, and we hope to see you guys there tonight. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys.
Please hit that like, smash the subscribe button. $4 a month, become a YouTube membership, and to get all of our current YouTube members. You guys are amazing.
Guys, thank you so much for watching.
And as always,
Go Jays, go!